minutes that we need to reschedule.
No, they are.
I check your
Your mic on?
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, man, yes.
Yeah, we're live.
That we need to.
I had to give a speech. I had to give my speech was supposed to be the fun speech. Fun. So, and then my kids, two of my kids had to give speeches.
Okay.
They
We've got thumbs all around. Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to our May 11th regular session meeting. And we will start with a moment of silent prayer. And please stand for the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Treasurer, you can call roll when you're ready.
Mrs. Davis?
Here.
Mrs. Thomas?
Here.
Mr. Benton?
Here.
Mr. Koppel?
Here.
Mr. Frazier?
Here.
And the reading of the notice, please.
This is a public meeting of the Board of Education for the purpose of conducting the school district business. It is not to be considered a public community meeting. There's a time for public participation during the meeting as indicated in the agenda. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes. Upon request of the superintendent, the district shall make reasonable accommodation for a person with a disability to be able to participate in this activity. Recording shall be made of each meeting of the board as an administrative aid and shall be preserved as public documents of the board.
Thank you. Any additions or deletions?
I have one small change in the agenda. If you look at resolution 26-05-112, 112.
Under Treasurer?
Yes.
I'm trying to find it. Treasurer, not donations,
It's the transfer of funds.
transfer funds. So
I have notes in my pagina is different
Okay.
on page numbers, but you see the transfer funds resolution and there's multiple items there. Sorry, it's on the next page here. If you look down the second item in that table, we have a transfer for athletic funds from the general fund. We're going to remove that tonight. There's just some further study needs to be done. Mrs. Strummy's working with Mr. Geis. And we're looking at some requisitions, activities. There's some of our teams in tournaments, so there's a little bit of flux there. So we'll bring that back to the board in June. And then at our work session, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but we have a work session next week. We'll bring that up as well too, because that's part of our study items with extracurriculars. Other than that, I do not have any other changes to the agenda.
great. Motion to adopt?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I'll second it.
Choose.
Alan can have it.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
I have no one for public remarks. So we will start with our first presentation.
Our first presentation tonight is student academic recognition, and I'm going to ask Mr. Shipton to come up. We want to recognize, I don't want to steal the thunder here too much, we want to recognize one of our students at the high school. And what's exciting about, it's always exciting to represent your school and to be successful. But this is from our electrical trades program, and kudos to the Board of Education again, because this is our second year of the program. Mr. Shipson's been there shepherding the program, and we already have state recognition, but I won't share any more to steal the thunder. And then I have this that you can hand it back to me. Then I keep going to make the rest of the introduction.
Do you hear me? There we go. Good evening. Thank you. I want to rewind even before that. Let's go back about 2.5 years ago. Dr. Wagner's vision on this endeavor and his collaboration with, at the time, Superintendent of CTEC, Dr. Joyce Mullaney, and providing our students here in Johnstown and neighboring institutions an opportunity to where they could stay at their home school and still get a credentialed in a skilled trade or a program, career-based program. Thank you, Dr. Wagner, for that insight and that vision, you and Dr. Mulady both with that, because this is a testament to that. In fact, I believe this young man here, Maximus Mitchell, he really needs no introduction to the board. I think this is you've been to more board meetings than me. I think this is the third board meeting Max has been in the last 2 years. I believe the first one was 2 falls ago with our inaugural. Max is part of the inaugural class. He's a year 2 senior in the electrical trades program, but with Jesse Mitchell, no relation, was the instructor at that time last year with our electrical trades program and got that off the ground, C-Tech instructor. And then Max was the student ambassador for that presentation to the board at that time and back in the fall. And then last year, Max placed in the top 10 in the state at the Skills USA competition at the Greater Columbus Convention Center. I believe he won the regional competition, which is usually at the Franklin County or Columbus IBEW, and then from there he went on to compete at state. He was the highest placer as far as juniors. A year 1 high school division students in the program. And then this year, Maximus decided he was just going to win it. And so he is state champion at Skills USA this year for the 26 school year, and he will be competing the middle of next month at the national competition, Skills USA competition in Atlanta, Georgia. I believe it's like June 15th. Is that right? Oh, it's earlier than that. Oh, first week in June. So I don't know the last time that Johnstown had an individual state champion, academics or extracurriculars or athletics, but obviously, I haven't been here that long, but this is a heck of an accomplishment to have someone in a second-year program to be the best in the state in what he does. And he was on the waiting list. To go back to kind of full circle, he was on the waiting list and probably wouldn't have got his first choice of electrical trades and had to go into another field, but because of the vision that Dr. Wagner had, providing our students with the opportunity, here we are. So kudos to Max Mitchell, and here is a little token of gratitude. Just talk about the competition.
Tell us about your project.
Yeah, talk about the 2 parts of the competition. All that.
So we had a code book part, and it's just we had a code book part, went through, answered some questions, and then had a hands-on part, wired a couple switches, and bent some 1/2-inch pipe, and yeah, that's about it.
Question. So some of us were here last year, some of us weren't. What I remember was you walked into like a room and there were tools and there were different things. And so for some of them who don't know, when you go into this competition, can you give them a little bit of a visual of what was in front of you and what were some of the things they asked you to do?
Well, you walk into the convention center and basically go find your spot. It's like I think there were 20 kids I was going up against, and you have your own little station. We're all next to each other, and you just work. And
You have a time limit?
yeah, 3 hours.
Is it set up like the classroom?
Yeah, but it's a lot smaller.
Smaller?
Yeah, because you can't really do that much in 3 hours, but
And I remember last year they provided tools and all kinds of things, and maybe there were some things thrown in there to put in there to throw you off, like not necessarily everything you had to use, but it was up to you to discern
Yeah.
what tools and all of that. Was it similar this year?
yep, it was basically the same exact thing as last year, but
Mhm.
And
yeah.
then do they flip a switch to make sure it is connected and working?
Yep. You test.
Lights gotta come on.
You test your project, and then they let you know if it works or if it doesn't.
Mhm.
I'll fix the code book in the state of Ohio.
It's a big book, that's for sure. It's pretty thick.
And is
But-
there any sort of like paper test component, or is it
Yeah.
all hands-on? Okay,
yeah,
there is.
we had a packet we had to do. That's part of the 3 hours. So we do that and then we go work. So, yeah.
That's
Max,
great.
do you have family here you want to introduce? or-
My mom and my dad. I wouldn't be here without them, that's for sure.
They look very proud tonight, and I think rightly so, right? As we all are for you.
Looking forward to Atlanta?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a huge city person, but I'll go.
Max, as our Mr. Shipton said, you're part of that inaugural class, and then one of the things that we did when we developed this program was to make sure there was a authentic workforce development exercise for you. Tell them about what you did this past summer, because as a rising senior, you also worked over
Yeah.
the summer, correct?
Yep, we worked over the summer, and that's Vaughn Industries. I worked there, learned a lot, and learned a lot what not to do too. So, then that helped me a lot too.
And do you have employment for the future here?
Yeah, I'm going to SME. That's
Wow.
fine.
So they've already hired you, even though you haven't finished high school yet?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
That's great.
The pro-
worked on the new nationwide bed tower, is where he was working.
Oh, okay.
The Children's Hospital.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
Very
Well, that's
neat.
good work.
Very neat.
Feel free to brag on yourself, it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's very, very exciting. I remember you coming last year, and we were so excited that as a junior, you were just absolutely excelling. But congratulations, and I hope that Nationals is awesome for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Max, thanks for doing that. Max, thank you for also being part of our
Very exciting.
ambassadors there. You're the first class, so you set the stage for your future.
You set the bar.
Very
Yeah,
high.
Very high, yeah, it's true. It's exciting, isn't it?
It's very
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah. Thank you to all of you for, past board, because we had a vision and, we had to take out a wall and collaboration with T-Tech.
Yep.
And, we have 2 other career tech programs in our high school right now, so more to come. Yeah, we'll
Very
give
exciting.
updates about those in the future. Our next presentation, Mrs. Wagner has a brief presentation, but she wants to recognize her Reader Leaders program. As you know, we've talked about volunteerism in the schools and more ways we can get volunteers to come in, and we've also focused a lot on literacy. And Mrs. Wagner came up with a plan and brought some volunteers in. I won't steal your thunder, but it's been exciting to see how we can have members of the community support our students.
Yes, we have 16 volunteers who, between Monday and Thursday, come in the mornings and work with our kindergarten and first graders. And it has been a wonderful experience. Our kids love the volunteers. I know that one of them asked if they could go home with one of them. Another one said, could you please be my grandma? So it's been a wonderful experience. I'll read the names of everyone, and then we have a few people who are here. So if you are here with us tonight, then just come on up when you hear your name. Carrie Almendinger and Chris Almendinger, Claire Dagg, Susie Eltringham, Shelley Kessler, Marilyn LeClaire, Ruth Pelkey, Rhonda Piper, Debbie Shelley, Diane Stoltz, now I think all the rest of them are here, Kathy Benton, Linda Brobeck, Betsy Holbrook, Patty Hollis, Maggie Minko, sorry, and I know you because you have kids in our school, and Cindy Reeves. So we want to thank all of you. We have a little gift of appreciation. And hopefully you will all come back next year and participate as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to thank Robin and everyone that started this program, because it is a win-win. It's wonderful for us that are retired and still can be useful, and to see those little kids' faces and the improvement they've made in just these few weeks, it's very exciting. So I'll be back for next year.
Okay, thank you. Craig, do you need to get a picture with everyone? If you get in stay just for a minute, we'll come and get a good picture with everyone. Sorry.
Group together a little more this direction.
I think Craig did. Sure. Mr. Shipton, why don't you and Max come up afterwards while we have just a slight pause here. Mom and Dad, you want to come up with Max when we're done with this too and get a nice picture so we can get us good still? Craig, we'll get a picture. Thank you.
Great.
So next on the agenda, we move things around today because we have a special event tonight. So next I want to introduce our potential future new superintendent because you have to vote in the next resolution, so I don't be too preemptive here. But I wanted to introduce Dr. Louis Kramer to the board and the community. Talk a little bit about process, talk a little bit about Lou just for a couple minutes, and I think he wants to say a couple things and then introduce his family. So as you know, we started a process and the board was very involved. We went through a digital, paper screening process. We had 17 applicants apply for the position. And after that screening process, narrowed it down to a group that the board met with, and then we whittled it down to a group of 3. And then we had those 3 candidates meet with members of the community, meet with some staff, and then also with the board. At the conclusion of that process, we had to make a decision, and the board has a lot of due diligence. I tell people like it's almost like an iceberg because you do so much work in this and reference checks, and we're watching a lot of other things. So we appreciate all the board's involvement in this. When you see the minutes, what do we have, 4 or 5 meetings in the last month? At least 4, if not 5. Yeah, we'll see. But appreciate all your time, dedication. This is the type of work that people don't really see behind the scenes. But next I want to introduce Dr. Louis Kramer. He is currently the superintendent of the London City Schools. He's been in that role for 11 years. Before that, he was a superintendent at Northeastern Local Schools and even spent, I think, part of a year as an interim superintendent. So he's been a superintendent, I think, 15 years now. Is that right? Was a teacher in Mad River. Principal at Mechanicsburg. I'm sorry, he was a director of teaching and learning at Mad River, was a principal at Mechanicsburg, was an elementary teacher at Cedar Cliff and New Rigel schools. And he's just been a pleasure to work with through the process. We have talked quite a bit, and we'll be looking at a transition plan as well for the future. Difficult to leave, as you know. I didn't plan on this, but there's a part of this where you want to make sure things are taken care of, and I have a lot of confidence in Dr. Kramer that he'll do well. So Lou, if you could say a couple things, introduce your family, and then we have some board resolutions that hopefully get passed.
Well, if they don't, it's going to be really awkward, right? But thank you, Dr. Wagner. Like you said, throughout the process, it's been a real pleasure getting to know you. And certainly part of my interest in the position is the good work that you and the board have been able to do over the last 3 years. So I appreciate that. It's appropriate that I'm coming after a couple of presentations about kids and volunteers because that's really how the superintendent should be, right? The person behind that support, championing that support. I will tell you, quite honestly, being at the precipice of being the superintendent of Johnstown-Monroe was not on my bingo card at the beginning of the year. Chance meeting and getting to know the board throughout the process and the community throughout the process and being in the community. Now I got to the point where I couldn't see myself not being the superintendent of Johnstown-Monroe. So I'm very humbled and very proud to be here, and can't wait for the next 10 minutes. Anyway, I'm very happy to introduce a couple of special guests that we brought along. My wife Janet and my kids, Elena, Ethan, and Miles. Our oldest daughter, Abby, lives in Beaver Creek and had some work commitments and couldn't make it as well. And I did see my current assistant superintendent sneak in the back over here. So Carla Shaw and her husband, Scott, who is a administrator in Reynoldsburg City Schools. So thank you both for being here as well.
Thank you. Any questions or anything? Move forward.
I mean, I just was gonna add that, there was a chance meeting, that just kind of led us to finding you and you figuring out about the position, and, there were a lot of hours that went into interviews of not just you, but several other well-qualified candidates. But I have to say that, while losing you is sad, you have brought a spark that I'm really looking forward to, and I think you're gonna be an incredible addition to our district.
The chance meeting we keep referencing was interesting. We went to a school funding, and Mrs. Davis, you took off as the board president, took off of work, and were in attendance with Mrs. Drummy and I, and we were in a room, probably 500 plus people, I would think. And we were sitting at the table together, and everybody got up, and Lou said to me, "Are you leaving?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to the state." And he said, "Can we talk?" And I said, "Yeah." So that's where it all started there. And so chance meeting is right, but I think sometimes things happen for a reason. So very exciting.
Yep.
I have a couple resolutions
Okay.
after, if you want me to read those.
Yep.
The first resolution is Resolution 26-05-108. It's employment of the superintendent.
Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
A second.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
So this is to approve a 3-year contract for Dr. Louis Kramer to serve as superintendent of schools effective August 1st, 2026 through July 31st, 2029. And there's some provisions in the contract where, based on performance, could roll into a 4th year based on evaluation, and possibly a 5th year as well too. And Ohio, you can't grant more than a 5-year contract, so there's a 3-year plus 2 1-year rollovers if possible. So a good total up to 5 years.
All right, call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution 26-05-109 is a consultant contract for Dr. Louis Kramer.
And a motion for that?
I'll motion.
Second.
I'll second it.
On this one, it would allow for some transition time, so at a per diem rate, it would be up to 20 days to work, and that'll allow us between now and August 1st to get some work done, and then we'll keep an accounting of that for the board, and then Mrs. Drummy will process timesheets at the end when we're ready.
Okay, and call the roll.
And I have one comment to make. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to thank Phil for all this effort here in the transition, because he's going to work with you during the transition days that we're about to approve. And, you know, he's really going beyond what he needs to do. So he really cares about our community and has really gone way beyond what you really need to make sure that we're okay going forward. So thank you very much.
I appreciate that, but it's a trust, you know, that we have, and, you know, we ran our own search, but that doesn't happen without the trust and relationship we have. And I've told Lou and I told others, there's a magic here in Johnstown, and you have to believe it. You have to live it to believe it. I told Mrs. Drummy that. She thought she was going to stay for 6 months. I said, wait till the Johnstown magic washes over me. And it has, so 6 months and she's still here. So, and more to come, right? We're working on that. So, thank you.
All right, now you can call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes. You're official?
It's official.
Congratulations. Should have done the speech after that, right?
Also, no obligation to stay for the rest. I know you came from far, so.
We're ready for board committees?
Yes.
First one we have is, and I know it's an extensive report we have tonight. So we have buildings, grounds, safety, and construction projects with Mrs. Thomas reporting and Mr. Frazier also in attendance.
I've been asked to cut my summary of 2 pages down to just a very small bite. So we had a 2-hour-long meeting, so we had a lot of stuff to go over, and we actually didn't get through it all. But we met April 30th. We went over the athletic and building grounds, and I know we've seen some comments online as well, but we are moving dirt up at the North Campus, making way for the parking lot
Yep.
that we were talking about. We've also moved some dirt for the utilities. That would be for the concession stand and what else?
A lot of it's really the infrastructure right now. So
Infrastructure,
we're
okay.
trying to get sewers first and then water lines
So you are seeing a lot of activity up there.
Yeah, specifically at the North Campus,
Mhm.
yeah.
And at the baseball softball field, we started on the walkway that's gonna go between baseball and softball
Softball,
fields. So that's gonna be nice for next year. It's not here now, but we'll have it for next year. And then the multipurpose building, they're scheduling a pre-construction meeting. From our Friday report, Dr. Wagner's taken lead on that to get that scheduled. So we are putting a building out here. It's not just growing grass. Are we gonna
No.
buy that soon?
No. Yeah. All the projects should be done by July 31st, if not, I'm sorry, by December 31st, if not sooner. You know, we're contingent on weather this time of year, but you'll really start seeing some movement here soon.
Sure. We completed the JHS concrete sidewalk at the front of our JHS building, so that should help with the mud, and we appreciate that. Our maintenance department did that and coordinated it. We had some wind damage, it's not unlike that to happen at this time of year, but we've all sustained some roofing, some issues with our football athletic equipment. There's been some signage that's blown off. We're getting all of this repaired, the fencing, some of that's been put into an insurance claim, as I understand it, and Derek Holder and Derek Busenberg are working with that. We've done some cleanup at this location at 599 South Main Street. The Santa house has been relocated. It's safe.
Where is it?
That's right, don't worry, it's safe.
Hiding.
Yep. And we are working on the mowing. There's going to be some fencing put, if you go behind this building, you'll see our HVAC is actually on the ground. And we need to put some fencing there to protect it from cars, from people, from kids, just all that great stuff. So we're gonna get that fencing up. Derek Holder is leading that for us. On the agenda this week, you'll see that we have a contract for the waste and recycling. We've chosen Republic Waste Services, and that recommendation is on the agenda. They're gonna do both the waste and recycle. So that's an initiative that many of our students have taken up, and that was incorporated into this. We're gonna have some gym floors redone this summer, and you might see some scheduling conflicts. So if you see the gyms are closed, that's why. And ABM is still having some issues with filling their complete schedule. We are receiving credit for what they can't. We reviewed some facility use requests. Talked about the board office. The board office was supposed to be short-term. It's actually become a long-term because we're not building a board office at this time. So we talked about they need some storage area. The classrooms, they are in classrooms right now that have been turned into offices. We kept the basis of the cabinetry in there. That cabinetry works well for classrooms, not so well for offices. So they're gonna look at some different types of cabinetry, and it looks like probably you'll be there for at least 3 to 4 more years at least.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
We really need to have another meeting. Steve and I both said we didn't get through our agenda. So we have some things, but our maintenance department is really working hard. They're doing a great job. We've got a lot of spring initiatives. Graduation is huge. They're very busy getting ready for that. They take care of all of our facility maintenance issues right now, outside for the athletics. So we were just really, if you see them, tell them thank you. They're doing a great job out there. So, anything else you want to add?
That's great.
I kept it short.
Yeah,
That was great.
listen, it was almost a 2-hour meeting, I think it was. We don't have curriculum athletics extracurriculars. We had one not too long ago, so we'll schedule another one here as needed. We did have a finance meeting on April 29th. I think Mr. Benton is going to give that summary.
Yeah, we looked at a number of issues, and some of them are on the agenda for tonight. One of the issues that we're really looking at is our TIF and turf agreements that we have. We have multiple agreements with different entities, and we need to really get a handle and really understand what changes are going on within those agreements. You know, there's a lot of activity within our community. There's a lot of new construction, and we really need to understand that everything is being passed along as far as funding to us that we're actually due. So it's a large revenue source for us, and we need to better understand it. So we looked at some different options, and we haven't really decided on what option to use as we go forward to try to understand it better. Again, we looked at some of the items that are on the agenda tonight. There's a number of fund transfers that are on the agenda, and then we have some contracts that are also on there. And I want to give a shout out to Ohio Health. We have that contract on tonight's agenda. They are a great partner for us. They provide great services to us as a school district at a minimal cost. So I want to thank them for that. The other thing is we had a couple of property valuation complaints. So we reviewed those complaints to see what we wanted to do with that. And then we're preparing some information for our next board work session, where we're trying to gather the financials on our extracurriculars, so we can take a look at, our expenses, what kind of funding that we're providing those activities, and then what revenue is being generated through those activities. And then we also looked at an administrative and classified salary review. So those are information that we're going to generate and provide to the entire board, because it's not the finance committee that makes a decision on these items, it's the entire board. So, but we can gather the information together so that they can make an informed decision. So I think that's pretty much what we talked about.
Yeah, that's good. We also had an insurance meeting on May 7th, and Mr. Koppel's going to report on that. And I have to say, Mr. Frazier wasn't there, but that was a scheduling error on our part. So we have the insurance consultant schedule the meeting. We didn't realize that you weren't on the meeting, and I don't think you were either, but you were able to move your schedule around. So we had board representation, but it was a good meal. Let Mr. Koppel share the information.
Yeah, we got a quick review of the financials and our utilization rates for the first part of the year. Our cumulative loss ratio is at 104%, so we're kind of on track. That's sort of typical for the first quarter of the year, where usage rates are typically up a little bit higher than over the summer months. So we're well on track to meet some of those goals. And part of what we do in the insurance committee is track this throughout the year to make sure that we're staying on our track for our usage rates and trying to be proactive and come up with ideas to educate our teachers and everybody on the insurance policies on how those rates and usages affect us for next year. A couple of ideas that we came up with was planning a convocation on August 18th as sort of an informational session where the vendors for the insurance companies will come in to provide information to the teachers. And also on the first PD day on September 18th, we're going to have the providers come in to provide diagnostic services and flu shot services to kind of get ahead on some of those things that can help our usage rates and help protect us from the rates going up next year. So I think we're on track.
Yep, very good. Good. Next, we had policy, and that the policy team met on May 1st, and I believe Mrs. Davis is going to give a report.
Yes, we had a pretty quick meeting. We're still looking at policies from the catch-up from Neola, so we're in the 1,000 and 2,000 sections. We've got some stuff for second reading tonight, and then the stuff from the first will be on the first reading. Mr. Busenberg, you can correct me because I didn't bring my notes, but I think we in the past 2 years have updated about 184 policy. I just wanted to show off.
I hate to correct you, 260.
Thank you. I didn't have 260 policies in two years. So
Wow,
we worked
that's a
very
lot.
hard in the policy committee, 260. So we're in a really good place that a lot of ours are caught up. And so as the updates come through Neola, we can, for the most part, just kind of sift through those. And the rest of ours, for the most part, are in a really good place. So.
I've said this before, but I do appreciate Mr. Busensberg's leadership in this. I mean, to think about 260 policies plus, because there's some that are coming here soon, but that's incredible in 2 years. And it's so critical that we have those policies as the backbone of our operations. And we not only have those amended many times or updated, but we also use them quite often. So when we're work to do, we'll have guidelines next year and some other work to do. But yeah, it's definitely coming together.
Yep.
Technology will meet on May 13th, so we don't have a report there. And then I have LPDC met, the Local Professional Development Committee met on April 14th. Those in attendance, we had some teachers and administrators. We had Stephanie Stuckey, Laura Kurtz, Renee Britton, Annette Price, Robin Wagner, Brad Weirman, Nick Hancock. In terms of individual professional development plans, we had 5 of those approved for staff. We also have 4 staff that needed their license renewed, and they met all the criteria, so those 4 are good. The LPDC is forward-looking now, and they're looking at some work that needs to be done in the future. There was a change in system, so there's still some onboarding and training that needs to occur, and they're going to work on that. Their next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, May 26th at 8 a.m. in the board office rooms. That's actually after the school year ends. And then sometimes they need to hold a June meeting, especially with those licensure, matters if there's anyone that we're waiting for, and we cannot have them start the new school year without a license. So, yeah, that's it from the LPDC. Questions?
Nope.
Next resolution is, next section is consent agenda. You ready?
Yep,
Okay.
motion.
I can motion.
I'll second.
And
Yeah, so resolution is 26-05-110. Would you like me to go
Yep,
through? Okay.
please.
So I'll run through these quickly and under consent. Our first section there under B are unpaid days. You can see the name of the staff. Again, we don't give the rationale for that because personnel matters. Resignations, we have one teacher who's resigning. We have administrative contracts. We have Emily Baker as a school psychologist. Emily's not here tonight, still in school, and then we also have another school psychologist we approved last time, and Alexis Lowe, and then we'll have, when they come back when they're back in town, we'll have them formally introduced to the board, and Mrs. Wagner will do an intro for them. So, next we have certified employments. Long list there, I won't read, but thank you to the treasurer's office and to Mrs. Lowe, because there's just hours of painstaking work there to make sure that everything's accurate. We have an employee transfer, and we just put that on the agenda so we can make sure that the assignments are captured. Classified employments, equally, their long list, all been vetted by the treasurer's office and Mrs. Lowe, as well as, I should say, Brad Weirman helps with that too. Supplemental employment, long list there. And then we also have pupil activity, long list there. Again, I'm going through these quick, but you know the hours of work that goes into that. And then we have extended days for the 25-26 school year. One of the things I'm going to do when we're done with this before you vote is I want to introduce the new JES secretary, because you approved her at the last board meeting, and then we have some extended days for her. She was able to work with her employer, and that she'll be able to work with Jackie Cannon, who's going to be very much a challenge to replace. She's done a tremendous job, but Chanel is up for the task with support from the JES administration. We have some additional extended days there in the next section for some of our certified administrative staff. A lot of volunteers, we talked about that earlier, but exciting to see all the volunteers. Mrs. Lowe does a nice job organizing all that. And then we have some, first part was academic volunteers. The next section is for athletics, smaller section there, but they're listed. Board meeting minutes, here's the answer to our questions. So we had 5 meetings. We had one on April 10th, April 13th, April 14th, April 15th, and April 28th. So 5 meetings in the month of April. So we have the monthly financial report from Mrs. Drummy, and that completes a quick review of consent. Let me know if there's any questions. If not, Mrs. Wagner, do you want to introduce Chanel?
This is Chanel Kenyon, and she'll be joining us for, if you approve it, the days coming up in May and June, and then August 1st will be her first official day.
Welcome.
Yes,
Thank you.
Johnstown.
You approved her at the last meeting, like
Yep.
I said, but the extended days are on there tonight. That's all I have for consent.
We are approving the donations in this one, or is that the next one?
That's in the next section.
Okay, just want to be,
Yep, thanks, Ann.
sorry.
No, good catch. All right, any other questions, comments? All right, call roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Koppel,
Yes.
Mrs. Davis.
Yes.
Mr. Benton.
Yes.
Treasurer?
Yes. Under the treasurer's recommendations, we have a recommendation, Resolution 26-05-111, to approve donations.
Can I get a motion for that?
So moved.
I'll
Thank-
second.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we read them?
Sure, I think
Please.
that would be nice. We have a $5,000 donation for two $2,500 scholarships from the Charles and Patricia Kessler Scholarship Fund. We have a donation from the High School Athletic Association for a Philips AED device. The American Legion Post donated a check for the support of children of military families, $300. Clotter and Company Architects for the Karen Hartman Memorial Scholarship Fund donated $200. Ann and John Clotter donated for the same Karen Hartman Memorial $100. And David Clotter, another $200 for the Karen Hartman Memorial Scholarship Fund.
Thank you for reading that. Anne, I know you.
Well, we certainly appreciate all the
Mhm.
donations, and we want to highlight our scholarship, that the seniors receive scholarships from our local families, our local community members, and it's very much appreciated. And we could not do it without the support of our community. So it's very important to us to thank all of our donors. Want to thank the American Legion Post. They're always there when we need them. And we certainly appreciate them and their support. I saw online that they had some military, April is the month of the military child, and so they did some activities at the end of the month there, and that was very nice of them to do that. And the Ohio High School Athletic Association, we certainly appreciate the AED device. We've updated that. That was at a board meeting that we recognized, actually it was at the graduation, when we recognized just how important having AED devices so close. Mr. Busenberg worked around the campus to find out where we were severely, you could not run to get that, so minutes count. So we appreciate that, thank you.
I do want to highlight too, Mr. Shipton was at a meeting and actually submitted the paperwork, and that's how we ended up with the AED.
Apologize.
Yeah, yeah.
Mr.
No, no,
Shipton,
no,
thank
no.
you.
He actually
Sorry.
completed the
Mr.
paperwork for
Busenberg,
it,
thank
yeah.
you. Mr. Shipton,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm. Hope we don't have to use one this year.
I hope we don't have to use one this year either.
But you're right, we basically developed a heat map, so we have a much
Yeah.
more comprehensive,
Yes.
services now.
And I want to mention too, a couple of scholarships here, and for some of the public that's more recent to our community. Charles and Patricia Patty Kessler, they were employees of our school district. Patty was a teacher. Charles was a teacher, a coach, a high school principal, a superintendent. So he spent a large part of his life here within our community. So it's great to see that he's honored. And then Karen Hartman, she was a special Spanish teacher. My children absolutely loved her and loved her class. So she succumbed to her death early in life, but she was not forgotten. So I just wanted everyone to understand that not only do we have a lot of volunteers, but we have a lot of legacies of people continuing to donate money in the memory of people that gave so much of their lives to our school district in the past.
Thank you, Alan.
Think we're ready for a vote?
Ready for a vote?
Okay. Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Thank you. The next recommendation is Resolution 26-05-112 to approve the transfer of funds.
Can I get a motion?
All motion.
And a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. And reminder that we crossed out the athletic fund.
Yes.
So you're just approving the 3 items, so we took the athletic off, we'll bring that back in June.
Yep. And call the roll?
One moment. Okay. Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Resolution 25-05-133 are the 2026 Johnstown High School graduates.
Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
And a second, please.
I'll second.
Thank you. And call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yes, please.
Always exciting, the graduates. I mean, this is our culminating, everything that we work toward this is at graduation. Kudos to the high school team, really all of our principals, but we look for instructional leadership, and I believe there's only 2 students who aren't graduating on time this year, and they'll have an opportunity to look in the summer as potentially, graduating at that time. But I believe it's 2 students, Mr. Shipton. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think we have it down to 1.
Down to 1,
Oh,
okay.
that's
That's
awesome.
amazing.
And, one thing I want to share too, I mean, we'd like it if we, everyone graduated on time.
We'd
But
like 100%.
not everyone has the benefit of a Johnstown education, Johnstown-Monroe Schools education. I've shared before, where our population is becoming much more transient than it has in the past. So sometimes we have students specifically at a high school who come in who are credit deficient. So that's part of the kudos to the staff because, I know more, I get to see some of the more details and the work they do to basically catch a student up and get 5 years of high school inside of 4 years sometimes, or, 2 years into 3. I mean, 3 years worth of education in 2 years, it's remarkable. So I'm excited and we'll get it down to 1 and maybe 0 in the future, so,
We have 127 graduates.
yeah.
And Mr. Shipton, we appreciate your invitation to the commencement. I think we can all RSVP as a
Yeah.
block that we're gonna be there, so.
Appreciate that,
Check mark.
Jesse. Thank you.
Resolution 26-05-114 is amendment to the 2026-2027 Johnstown High School Program of Studies.
Motion?
I'll motion.
Second.
Second.
Thank
I know this came to you a little later than we typically would bring something to you, but we're watching student selections for next school year, for the 26-27 school year. And one of the things that's happened is we need more electives for students, and we start thinking about their next steps in life, where it's military, workforce, or obviously, and even some form of college or secondary education outside of high school. And one of the things we want to do, and we're bringing to you, is a media arts pathway. So that'll provide more options for the students as well too, and I think it's a very viable area. Mr. McDonald, as our communications specialist, is going to help with oversight. He has connections, he's a longtime journalist, editor, writer, and has a lot of connections there. So he'll actually be a consultant for this as well too. So we appreciate the board would approve this tonight.
I think they're all very exciting things, so, yeah.
And it's something we can get, we're still working on student selections at the high school, so we can still get in this year if the board
Yep.
approves it.
That's great.
Awesome. All right, any questions on that? Call roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Resolution 26-05-115 is a school psychologist services contract.
Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Second.
Second.
Thank you.
It says in here on this, or the recommended action is, we're asking up to 20 days. We have a couple newer to the field school psychologists, so we want someone who's been in the field for a while to mentor. And we have Lisa Kramer. Now, Lisa actually works as a school psychologist on a contracted basis this year. And so she's familiar with the district, but she's got experience a long time as a school psychologist, also an administrator. So we'd like have her probably, especially at the front end of the year, be able to work with our 2 less experienced school psychologists and help them, and then she'll be there for as much as we need her, up to 20 days.
Appreciate that, awesome. Call the roll?
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution 25-05-116 is employment of a residency officer.
Motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Thank you.
This is a continuation of a contract that we've had, and I believe this is the 4th year that we're going into the 4th year. Just an area that we continue to have to watch. You know, we're happy when people move into Johnstown-Monroe and they want, you know, to receive an education for their children inside of our 52 square miles. But we also have some families who have not been here legitimately, and we've done a lot of work in that area. Mrs. Lowe helps a lot of the induction with residencies. So unfortunately, there's a few people that we have had to unenroll and get them back to their home district, because the challenge there is we don't receive funding for students who aren't,
Right.
and another school district does. So we work with them, but that'll be a continuation of as an as-needed basis for the coming year, and we have not to exceed 15 days.
Perfect.
Is
Thank you.
is he a police officer or?
No, he's a former teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't want to give our tricks of the trade, but we do a lot of work. You know, there's some social media, there's some digital things we're looking at, and quite honestly, some of it is just knocking on doors, checking with department managers, checking with, you know, the auditor's site. Again, Mrs. Lowe helped a lot
Our
with
tip
that.
line?
What's that?
We have a tip line.
Yeah, we have that's right, we have a residency tip line that's anonymous, so we have that embedded in our system. So, you know, sometimes it's all legitimate, but if it's not, then, you know, he does help out, and just a teacher. And if we need to, we can involve in law enforcement, but we have never met that level or needed to, so.
All right, any other questions? Call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution 26-05-117 is the 2028-2029 district calendar.
Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Second, please.
Second.
Thank you.
As a reminder, following our policies and procedures, last meeting, we had to have almost like a public hearing, and you know, it was presented to the board. A lot of work done with the calendar committee, so I won't review that today, but this is the actual board action. We did not have any concerns expressed to us since our last board meeting, so we're asking for the board to approve this tonight.
Great. Then call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Resolution 26-05-118 is the Schoology contract.
Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Second.
Second.
It's as it's written. It's July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. We currently use Schoology, so this is just a continuation of service we're currently using.
Awesome. Call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Resolution 26-05-119 is the lawn care contract.
Motion?
Can I just make one quick, like, you guys reviewed this in finance, and these expenses are in line with what we spent last year and stuff?
Schoology?
I just wanted you to. Yeah, and lawn care stuff.
Yeah.
Not being on finance, I don't get a chance to review all these expenses.
Yeah, the
in this
Schoology
much
is built
detail.
into our curriculum budget,
Okay.
and I think that was actually very comparable to last year. We talked about it when we, it was very much in line with the previous year.
One of the things that we do, and Mrs. Drummy, I have to brag on her for a minute since she's been here, we do a lot of future planning, so we actually meet with departments, and we make sure that, and we're working with contractors, to get an idea of what an escalator could be. Sometimes it's
Yep.
written in the contract, sometimes it's not. So yes, we have this all in our budget.
Thank you.
That's all I wanted to know.
All right, for resolution 26-05-119, can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Thank you. And a second.
Second.
Thank you.
With this contract, this is a continuation. There's specific dates in there because we know when our first mow was, you know, and then we're
Yeah.
projecting we're not going to need to mow the grass after November 30th, but I make no guarantees on that. There'll be somebody else has to deal with that if it occurs, unfortunately. But we should get all of our mows done that time. And just as a reminder, I know this is buildings and grounds issue, but we're also looking at that contract and operational efficiencies for the future too. So we're asking the board to approve this. We've already had a couple cuts already. But then, you know, for the future, that's in our strategic look forward if we're going to continue those services in their current forms.
And this is just a continuation of our current vendor?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Thank you. You can call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Resolution 26-05-120 is the Republic Services Contract.
Motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second. And I need to say a lot here because Mrs. Thomas already reviewed this from our Buildings, Grounds, Safety and New Construction meeting, or summary notes, but this will be from July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029.
Questions? All right, call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution 26-05-121 is New Story Schools Contract for Services.
Motion for that?
I'll motion.
Second.
Second. This resolution and the following one for students who have special needs, we don't talk a lot about that, but that's what we're asking the board to approve. Mrs. Wagner helps organize this with the building principals.
Thank you. And call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Resolution 26-05-122 is the Learning Spectrum Contract for Services.
Motion for that?
I'll motion.
Second.
Second.
Questions? All right, call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Resolution 20.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? I did have something to go back to on the resolution of the lawn care contract. I noticed at the elementary school, there's a lot of dandelions. We could probably use a broadleaf treatment back there. I don't know if that's something that, just wanted to raise awareness. I don't know if anyone's walked back there, but it's, the dandelions are growing.
behind
like-
the
Is it where the soccer fields
Yeah,
are?
yeah.
So we, because I was cut short in my summary.
Oh, you were, wait, you were
She wanted to
fishing.
address
You were,
this.
you were fishing in your summary. It wasn't you were cut
Uh,
short.
I will, we have a new reclaim field, and at JES, we have NetScreen, and they are partnering with us to get all of their fields back to where they need to be. They are spraying for it, they're
Okay.
fertilizing, they're doing all kinds of stuff, so we're also partnering with JYAA. They saw that we were doing some of that work, so they're gonna talk to Dr. Wagner about how they can, or Dr. Kramer, about how they can partner with us on that. But yes, I
Awesome.
would agree with you, and we are doing something. Again, I
Okay.
was cut short on my.
Thank you.
summary.
It
Sorry
was
to
efficiency,
digress
wasn't
for a
it?
second there.
had to
No,
make
it's
it
okay.
Good.
But while we're talking
call
about
out.
that, there's actually, they've applied some of the treatment in places, and you can see actually the weeds are starting to die off in place. I was just walking up by JIS today, and I saw that some of the weeds are actually starting to die off. So when we're in public sector, we have to be careful what we use, for
Sure.
lawn treatment, but I think we
Of course.
found something that's safe and it's
Mhm.
working,
I
but
think
yeah.
it's been a hard year. All the
Yeah.
wind blows in all those
Yeah.
seeds, and then you have the continuation of the rain. It's a constant fight.
Yep.
But they're on it. Good catch.
Anything else?
Nope.
Resolution 26-05-123 is approval of overnight extended trip, student trip, for the Big Red Band.
Motion?
I'll motion.
Second.
Second. And this is for July 26th through July 31st. They attend every year. It's,
Mhm.
always well organized, or they have a band camp every year.
Call the roll.
Sorry, may I have the first and second again?
Ann and Steve.
And Steve.
Okay. Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Resolution 25-05-124, second reading of revised policies.
And a motion for that?
I'll motion.
Second.
Second.
Call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
And Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
So I was gonna say nothing new there.
No, these are the second reading, revised. And
Yep.
next, we have Resolution 25-05-125, second reading to rescind policies.
Motion.
I'll motion.
Second.
Second.
Thank you.
And there's just one here in entrance.
Call the roll. Yep.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution 25-05-126 is second reading of replacement policies, and this one is also for entrance requirements.
Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Second.
Second.
Call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution 25-05-127 is second reading of new policies.
Motion?
All motion?
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Resolution 25-05-128 is first reading of revised policies.
Motion for that?
All motion?
Second.
Second.
And this section will be all first readings.
Yep. All right. Call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Resolution 25-05-129, first reading to rescind policies.
Can I get a motion?
All motion?
Second.
Call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes. I have a question, Mr. Busenberg. This is the new to us policy, correct? The artificial intelligence?
It's a replacement policy, so we do actually have one on very short.
Okay, all right.
Replace it with one long.
Great, thank you. my memory was that it was new. Thank you. All right.
Resolution 25-05-130, first reading of replacement policies, and this will be artificial intelligence.
Okay, thank you. Motion for that?
All motion?
And a second.
Second.
Call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Resolution 25-05-131, first reading of new policies.
Motion.
All motion?
Second.
Second.
It's almost like people just want to keep this going, huh? It's a little-
Well, you know,
I know.
we do so much work on this,
I know.
and the board,
People don't
policy
see
committee
that.
does, it's not like you're just rubber stamping something.
No.
You've looked at these, and we've sometimes reviewed them in work sessions or with
Yeah.
policy committees, so a lot of work goes into this.
All right, call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
And I will point out to our new superintendent hire that we just updated our policy and evaluation of the superintendent, so.
It was not lost on me.
Yeah. That probably the right time to do that.
Want to make sure we had that one looked at.
Do we have any board comments?
I just want to thank everybody that helped participate this last month and support for the superintendent search, because it takes all of us to do that, the community, the staff, administration. There was a lot of work going on. People met us at the door to let us in. We don't have keys. The board members don't have keys, so somebody has to let us in the building. And so everybody that's helped, we really appreciate that, and very excited about graduation.
Yeah.
Very
Yes.
excited.
Yeah.
Pray for good weather.
Yeah.
Did we
Just-
mention that already? We're not supposed to mention it yet.
You jinxed us
No,
now.
you have to pray for it early. Okay, all right. Any other board comments? Okay.
Couple things to run through. We talked about graduation a lot. For the board members, if you can be there no later than 6:30, so we can get you lined up. So I think they have invitations. Do they have those tonight?
Yes.
You got them?
Yes,
Oh,
we do.
perfect, okay. So you have your invitation, so 6:30 is where we want them, no later than, so we'll get you ready. Did you all get your caps and gowns?
Yes.
Okay. Or is it gowns? We don't really have caps, but yeah. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions, otherwise we'll be ready for graduation ceremonies. PTO, Teacher Appreciation Week, I know you've seen a lot about it, but boy, that's a nice story too, when you think about how engaged the PTO is and what they do to support the community, what they do to support the staff. After last year and what they did, I'm not sure how you top it, but they did it again this year, so just tremendous. And Mr. McDonald has some things on social media for us, but just really proud of our PTO and what we've done there and working as a team. Yeah. Kindergarten registration signing night, that was on the 7th. last week, and our numbers are up a little bit, we think. We're projecting 90-plus students for next year. If you recall, we were 122 last year. We've been up and down to about 82 this year, and we're right around 90. I'm kind of thinking we might hit triple digits, but we'll see, right? So
I gotta say, I love the like signing day theme with it. I just think that makes it so fun and like gives them something to really look forward to. I don't know. I really enjoyed those pictures.
it's very welcoming. It's a
Mhm.
nice,
It is.
nice process.
Neat to see.
Yep. We talked a little bit about scholarships tonight. There is an organization called 7x24, and I don't want to say too much, but I think we're going to have another scholarship recommendation or acknowledgement here for the board to approve coming up. Not quite finished with everything yet, but a very sizable scholarship. And this is the group, you met Gina Grimaldi, who was heading some of when we
Yes.
did Career Day.
Yes.
Yes.
She's in a group, and it's dealing with career technical education, and it's that 7x24. So watch for an update there. I know I'm kind of cryptic, but I don't want to jump too far
Yeah.
ahead. But it's impressive what this group may be able to do for us. And then those monies will be really targeted for our career tech students, you know, and what they can do at that next level, whether that's going right in the workforce and equipment, tools they need, whether that's advanced education. And some of our career tech students go on to college, you know, if that's more
Mhm.
than people recognize. We have,
Absolutely.
I know Max isn't here anymore, but I know we have at least one, if not two, students who are not going into the trades, but they're taking electrical trades, and they expect to enroll as electrical engineers in college. So if we get this scholarship, that'll be something that we could apply in that situation, in career tech as well. Sticking with the career tech theme, we have career exploration also at Johnstown Elementary School, and that'll be on May 12th. There's some booths for that, so it'll be, well, it actually was today and tomorrow, so I couldn't get there today, but I'll be there tomorrow, so they have some sign-up booths. But it really speaks to the issue about how we have to focus on outcomes for students, like I said, even at the young levels, grade levels, and it helps parents think about it too. So it's also an equally exciting kind of event, almost like kindergarten signing or registration. We were trying to get another student celebration in for Lauren Heimroll. She has some exciting news. I know we've put some of that on social media. She had some commitments tonight with her family, so couldn't be here, but at the June meeting, we'll bring her, and we equally want to recognize her, so I won't say too much in advance, but that's exciting. Overnight field trips for volleyball. Wanted to tell the board, and it's something we'll have to work on committee. As much as we changed policies a few years ago and have a requirement about 6 months before, sometimes things come to us late. So this is one of the ones that's coming to us late. Mr. Geis is helping to shepherd this right now with Mr. Shipton, and we're going to try to see what we can do to see if we can get this trip. But it would come together, if it does come together, it would be in July. So it'd be for volleyball again too. So we're going to see if we can fast track that and meet all the criteria we need to. And then the other thing we talked about with the high school administration is we're going to be more proactive in the future and make sure that all of our coaches, extracurricular representatives sign off on the policy and they understand how important it is. We're not obstructionists, but there's so much with the student safety perspective that we have to look ahead and make sure that whether it's health and wellness, whether it's just their own safety, so that's part of the reason we have the 6 months. So watch for updates on that volleyball.
I did see that it comes in right as the band is leaving. I think it's the 24th and 25th.
Yeah.
And then the 26th is for the band camp. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to see any of our students penalized.
Right.
You know, because that's a lot of days that they would be gone from the house.
It is,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. Well,
From their families, not
sure,
the house, but
absolutely, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I did have one board comment. I wanted to thank Mrs. Wagner, and we had a really cool career day at the elementary school today, and I think it continues for tomorrow, where parents got to come in and everyone had a little table and got to explain their careers to all the kids. I thought it was an awesome opportunity for parents to get involved and for the kids to learn a little bit. And I had a challenge of explaining what a title agent does to a bunch of second graders and kindergartners. But it was a really enjoyable experience. It's my first time over there doing that, and it was really cool. It went really well. So thank you for organizing that, and I hope that you continue with that one because that was a really cool event.
It was almost as great.
I do want to remind the board that we have the work session and it's next Monday. Typically, we wait 2 weeks, but because of Memorial Day, so it's next Monday. There's some items, this is gonna be a busy meeting, and I'll start listing things here in no specific order, but one of the things I'm gonna do is change that meeting and also add an executive session, because we're gonna talk about some personnel appointment. We need to look at a couple contracts now that we have Dr. Kramer's contract taken care of. There's a few other staff we wanna look at. So at some point, probably the end of the meeting, we'll notice that and have an executive session to talk about that. Some other things we're going to do is, and this has been somewhat referenced, is look at extracurriculars review. There's some things with athletics, budgeting, ticket prices, transportation, how it fits in with athletics. So we're gonna try to get that on a fast track and get that ready by next week so the board can look that over. Now that Dr. Kramer's coming on board, our next big item is transportation. So we'll be bringing some information to you about that. As a reminder, we're at the end of our 5-year contract for transportation. We have hired a private consultant to help with potential contract negotiations. Mr. Busenberg planned on a 2-hour meeting last week, and it was at least 4 to 5 hours. I kind of went in looking, and they're not done, you know. So when you think about your buildings and grounds meeting, there's another one. I kept checking on him. I was looking for the white smoke coming out of the room. It didn't happen. So, you know, there's lots of, but it's a complicated, contract, and we did budget a lot, and we shared that with the board some time ago because the market has changed and the competitiveness of salaries has changed a lot too. So that's going to be the next big item. That'll be a big part of the work session. We, and Mr. Benton referenced this a bit earlier, we're looking at some of our, in auditing, if you will, some of our revenue streams. We have some compensation agreements in place. We referenced the TIF already. We're looking at a firm to help us just look at that. There's so many moving pieces, and part of that also is projecting forward, right? Because sometimes we have abatements, we have pilots in place. So we're going to, you'll hear more about that. That was potentially on this agenda tonight, but we pulled that off. We're still working through that potential contract. We gave that survey, and I want to make sure we'll spend a little bit of time with that. In that survey, we used some of that information to help with the superintendent search and helped us craft the questions that we asked. So that was helpful to have information from the community and families. Part of that also was dress code, so I'll bring that next week so we can talk about that. And then we also talked about facility usage, and I know we've had some work on that. There's been some committee review on that, but that's something we're going to have to look at too. Part of that is really there's two aspects of that. One is how we're using the facilities, when they're available, and then also looking at the pricing, with that. So we have a few pending requests on that right now. If you have anything else for the May 18th work session, let me know, but this will be one that we'll want to hunker down. A lot of it for me too is
stacked up, yeah.
Yeah, a lot. We'll try to be efficient, and some of this you've seen before, so this is not going to be like start with a blank sheet of paper. But
are we supposed to approve the handbook in the May meeting too, or is that getting bumped back a little bit?
Handbook will most likely be in June.
Okay.
We'll see. We could do July, but we'll see in June. There's a few things in there I want to look at. One of which is the dress code, in there. Okay. So I didn't put that on this agenda, like I said, for tonight. But you'll have to help me with that and what the cadence looks like, or what the approval cycle could look like on that. And as I said, let me know if there's anything else that you want to add to the agenda, but we will be ready and have a lot of good strategic work that'll come out of that committee meeting. Okay?
Okay.
All right. And that's all I have. And welcome, Dr. Kramer. Right.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, Jesse, there you go. I'll second it.
It's Resolution 25-05-132 is adjournment.
Call the roll.
Mr. Koppel,
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Benton,
Yes.
Mrs. Davis.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You may.